Peace, everyone. I come to you right now in the most precious name of our Father, bringing a word straight from the throne of grace. My family and I were sitting here now, getting ready to have our nightly family Bible study, and suddenly a huge black butterfly just flew through the window. And we were closing up the windows because it began to get a little windy for the night, so I like closing up the windows. However, before we got a chance to close up all the windows, we looked up and we saw this weird looking huge type of bug thing, and it kept flying around my ear, and I just kept hearing wings flap, flap, flap. Like it was just all around my left ear, my right ear, just flap, flap, flap. And then my daughter's like, whoa, 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 whoa. And I began to flick it with my right hand on my left ear to my right ear, just begin to, flicker it, because I didn't know if it was a bee or a wasp or what it was. I just know I heard wings just flying all around my ears. And as we looked up, I saw that it was huge. My daughter saw it was huge, and we were still like, whoa, what is this? So as we walked into the kitchen area, it followed us in the kitchen area, and then it landed on the wall, and we were able to see clearly what it was. It was the biggest black butterfly with holographic wings. And the first thing that I did was say, that's kind of a weird butterfly. I've never seen a butterfly that big. So I was like scoping it out, like, is it a demon disguised as a butterfly? I'm like scoping this butterfly out. But as I'm looking at the butterfly, I'm like, wait, hold on a minute. I don't pick up any negative energy from it. So what I'm beginning to realize is the butterflies, the fact that it was flapping around my ear, I know it came with a message. So I began to search my heart even further of what this message is, not only for myself, for such a time as this, but also for the remnant of Yah. And this is the word that I have. Yah says to his remnant, I have hidden you in my secret place, molded you in my fire, and now I am releasing you. Not to be seen, but to transform. You are a decoration. You are a declaration. You are not a decoration, but you're a declaration. You understand? I'm going to say it again. You are not a decoration. You are a declaration. Let me say it again. You are not a decoration. Do you hear me, sisters and brothers? But you are a declaration. My glory shall be revealed through the very darkness you came out of. The Father is confirming here his word that he has been bringing through me, as well as many of his other remnant, to his remnant for such a time as this. So here it is, sisters and brothers. So many of you have stepped into your season where the Father is positioning you and has positioned you for such a time as this. For the Father says, I will bless those that bless you. I will curse those that curse you. The Father says, your latter shall be greater than your past. And you're here. You're here as a cocoon. And in this season of a cocoon, you must know that a cocoon is not a coffin. There are several Bible verses that reminds us of this. Key scriptures, Ecclesiastes 3. To everything there is a season and a time, and every purpose under the heavens. 2 Corinthians also remind us, therefore, if any man be in Yahushua, he is a new creature. Isaiah 45 reminds us, and I will give you the treasures of darkness and hidden riches of secret places. Psalms 91 reminds us, he that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadows of the Almighty. Malachi 3:3 reminds us, and he shall sit as a refiner and purifier of silver. here it is. We're in these places where the Father is reminding us that he saw our labor. He saw our pain. He saw every single trial and tribulation that we had to go to and go through to get this far. And the Father has tested so many of us, not only tested us, but allowed Satan to run rush hour all over our lives, minds, bodies, spirits, souls. We've been tested through friends, frenemies, families, foes, co-workers, people, places, and things. Now we're in our season, coming out from a cocoon season. So some of y'all feel like you've been in a shut-in, hidden, isolated, like nobody ain't seeing your value or your grind. But in that season of silence, it wasn't of death sentence, sisters and brothers. That was not your sentence. It was a divine preparation. You see, the cocoon, it's tight, it's dark, it's uncomfortable, but it's where transformation happens. And this is what this black butterfly was reminding me of. So don't confuse Yah's hiding you with him forgetting you. And so many of you feel as if the Father has forgotten you. And I know that space. I know that place when the Father just goes silent on you. And you're like, Father, have you forgotten me? You've checked your spirit, you've tithed, you paid your offering, you fasted, you've prayed, you sought the Father, you've done unto others as you want others to do unto you. You've done everything in your power to make sure that you were right with Yah. But yet you were in this season of silence, this season of just utter dullness. I don't even know the words for it. I just know that it was a quiet season. It was a season of you just going through trial after tribulation, after testing, after testing, after testing. And now here you are. You're in your black butterfly season, where here it is, you're not just here to appear, but it was time for you to go through your pressure, your molding, your darkness, just for your breakout. Everything that you went through, sisters and brothers, it was not in vain. You see, death, it was not the end, it was the door. And what that black butterfly symbolizes, not just for me and my family, but for you, you see, the black butterfly, it carries a symbolism of death. Not for destruction. We're talking about the death of ego. We're talking about the death of fear. We're talking about the death of the old identity. You see, Yahushua said, except a corn of wheat fall into the ground. I'm reading it wrong. This is in John chapter 12, verse 24, if you want to follow along. Except a corn of wheat fall into the ground and die, it abideth alone. So you see, sometimes you got to die to be reborn. This season, it might feel heavy because something just don't feel right. Something just feels off. But you must know, sisters and brothers, that greater is he that is in you than he that is in the world. All this season is doing is making room for the new you to emerge. You are covered in his shadow. Remember, Psalms 91 says that he that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High. That butterfly, that black butterfly, it was a time where my family and I, we had to stay hidden for a time. We had to go through our trials and our tribulations. We had to study to show ourselves approved. Not only were we tested in our home amongst each other, but we were tested. I remember my husband specifically being tested at his job with his peers. I remember my husband being tested so much and bullied so much by his peers that he would just come home from work and he would just sit in his car. And he would take his drive home, but he would just drive just very slow, just to process just what happened at work. And my husband, he's not the type of person that just, goes out starting fights. He's so quiet and so temperament and so tamed and so humble that in order to bully my husband, you have to be a real true bully. And I remember so many times I just wanted to just go to his job and just stick up for him and just fight everybody who was bullying him. But this reminds me of being this way because this is just how I was raised. Like if my sister got in a fight, like whoever got in a fight, we all stuck together. But I just felt helpless that I was not able to protect my husband. I was only able to pray for him. And I just feel that so many of you are in that position where you're being bullied at work. People are bullying you at your jobs because they're bullied, because they're mean. They're part of the mean crew or the mean club. But I remember so many times that I would have my husband just remind him, go in the bathroom and just pray. He would go in the bathroom and he would just pray. He would say his prayers at certain times of the day. He would get to work early just to pray over his work ground before his co-workers even got there to bully him. And on those days, certain days were easier and certain days were not. But I'm telling you, sisters and brothers, don't flap like the rest. You see, you have to glide like the wind. You have to be one of Yah's chosen, knowing that you are created to transform the atmosphere. You see, black represents depth, mystery, and spiritual power. And within this spiritual power, the remnant, you have to know, you feel it. You've been overlooked. You've been misunderstood. You've been counted out. But I'm here to tell you, sisters and brothers, that this is your wind, your season, a wind. Like I said, I was closing the windows because it got so windy that before I can even close the windows, this butterfly came in. And the first thing I thought of was, I'm going to kill it. I'm about to kill this. Whatever this thing is, I'm about to catch it and kill it. I didn't even see the wings of the butterfly, but the fact that I even thought of to kill it first, like I don't even like killing animals. I don't even like killing a spider or an ant because every single creature has the right to live. Even you and I, we have the right to live. No matter what our trials and our tribulations are, we have the right to live. We have every right to survive, to thrive through it. And this is what the Father even says to Satan when Satan comes before him to accuse us. The Father don't just take us out. He allows us an opportunity to come to him, to pray through our tests, through our trials. He allows Satan to test us, to see what we're going to do. And those tests, they come not to kill you, but to transform you, but to make you stronger. And this is why so many of you have made it to this point. This is why so many of you are looking like, well, I don't see any change yet. I don't see what's happened. I'm even looking at my bank account and I've been tithing. I've been praying to Yah. I've been fasting. I've been seeking his face. And it just seems like test after test after test. Sisters and brothers, you got to know that this is your season. You got to know that the Father did not bring you this far to leave you. And so many times I had to remind myself of that. You see, when that butterfly comes out of cocoon, it's there to remind us to sit still and to let the wings dry. Let the wings propel themselves. Let the wings take us to wherever the Father wants to take us. You see, Yah's not going to release you half-baked. It's your season. It's your wing stretching season. So don't rush it. He's preparing you to fly where others walk. He's preparing you to fly where others ascend. Or where they try to settle, you're going to ascend. Because this is your time. You see, the Ruach Kadesh is moving. And if you're sitting still, you're keeping your Sabbath. We have Sabbath coming up again. You're keeping your Sabbath. You're keeping the holy feast days. And remember when I told you, when you're going through those tests, so many of you, you're leaving in the comment section, pray for me on this. And if that's you, you have to know that when praises go up, blessings come down. Many of you, you're writing me messages and you're saying, sister, pray for me on this. And I'm praying for you on this. Why do you think that my channels be under attack? Because I'm standing so strong, not just for my family, but to get the word out for the gospel, for the sake of the gospel, for the sake of the kingdom. And not just that, I'm praying over your household. I'm praying over your tithes, over your offering. We're lifting the Father up in this hour. We're lifting you up, your prayers up to the Father in this hour. Every single chance that we get, you're not forgotten. My family and I, we have this thing where we're praying 5 times a day. We're having our Bible study 5 times a day. But in between time, I have a few extra myself, because the Bible tells us to pray without ceasing. So I'm constantly praying. But you have to remember, when praises go up, blessings go down. I like to look at it this way. He that dwelleth in the sacred place of the Most High shall abide under the shadows of the Almighty. So I like to look at it this way. As long as I'm praising the Father, as long as I'm abiding in the Father, as long as I'm talking to the Father, spending time with the Father, dwelling with the Father, where possibly does the enemy have time to come in to distract me or attack me? Because I'm with the Father. I'm dwelling in the sacred place of the Most High. I'm in the shadow of the Almighty. So therefore, nothing by any means can harm me as long as I'm in the Father's presence, as long as I'm in the Father's covering. And that's what that black butterfly reminds me of. A time of transformation for the remnant. Life, death, rebirth, transformation. Our time is here, sisters and brothers. You have stepped out of your cocoon season to transform into that black butterfly. And first of all, remember this. Everything comes from black. So that black butterfly is not always going to stay black. Now, incoming is the color of that black butterfly's wings. That black butterfly is going to fly so high and illuminate so beautifully that the mind cannot even fathom the colors that this butterfly is about to have on its wings. So, sisters and brothers, to those of you who are in your season, here and now, the transformation of a lifetime is here. Eyes have not seen and ears have not heard the plans and the thoughts that I have for you, declares Yahweh.